They meet again when Pete is being bullied and blackmailed for being gay. I'm laughing semi because the bully is called Trump. Hey guys, I'm Lou, and in today's video I wanted to talk about all the books that I want to read in February. I have 5 books that I want to get to in February, but that might be a little bit ambitious because 1, I am in the world's worst reading slump, and number 2, one of these books is in Korean. It's not translated into English, and it takes me like a day to read a paragraph, so I have a very strong feeling that I am not going to finish that book in 2021, let alone February. I also find it interesting that apart from the first book, the rest of the books which I'll be talking about aren't originally published in English. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. The first book that I want to read in February is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 5th book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. For those who don't know what the series is about, the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and it has fairies. The target demographic for this series is new adult/adult. It's one of the reasons why the series has had a cover change from book 4 to book 5. If you haven't read this series, don't worry. I am going to make the summary as spoiler free as possible. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen in the book, so of course it's going to be spoiler free. I used to be a massive fan of the series, but I think I've been slightly put off by the fact that the narrators of this book is Nesta and Cassian. I personally think that they're the worst people to choose from as narrators in the entire series because I didn't like them, and like I'm not invested in their romance, but I am going to give this book a chance because it used to be one of my favorite series of all time. I mean, it still might be, I don't know. I guess this book will tell me whether or not this series will still be my favorite series of all time. I don't like Nesta because she is very antagonistic, especially to the people that she loves. So it's hard for me to like a character and empathize with that character if she is just so rude all the time. I don't like her, and I'm literally not invested in her story. I'm invested in everyone else's. So that's why I'm going to continue. And it's like 800 pages, so hopefully I will actually finish this book in February, but I am not holding my breath. But then I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah J. Maas ends up making me like Nesta. The next 2 books that I want to read are manga. It's the first 2 volumes in Cherry Magic. 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard. Volume 3 comes out in May, and I honestly can't wait to read it. This manga series was one of the best mangas that I read in 2020. Especially because I'm in the reading slump at the moment, I want to reread my favourite manga and try and get back into the swing of reading. I've also wanted to reread this manga since I finished the Japanese live adaptation drama of the series, which just finished in December of 2020. That TV drama series is honestly one of the greatest things ever to exist, and everyone needs to go and watch it. It's just so light, so wholesome, just so much fun. It holds a special place in my heart because it made me happy when I was like really stressed, so I love it. The title does sound a bit weird, but please don't be put off by it. In this manga world, if you are still a virgin at the age of 30, then you obtain special powers. You get the ability, I don't know why I'm laughing. You get the ability to read someone's mind when they touch you. Oh wait, or when you touch them. When you touch. In this manga world, it's a rare occurrence for someone to be at the age of 30 and still be a virgin. So it's not a well-known fact. It's just something that the main character discovers when he turns 30. The manga follows Adachi, who discovers his new superpower on his 30th birthday. Unfortunately, the ability just makes him miserable because he doesn't know how to fully use it, and you can imagine that it's quite invasive reading everyone's personal thoughts around you if they touch you. It would probably make me hate physical contact. And to make matters worse, Adachi accidentally reads the mind of his fellow co-worker, the competent, the popular, the handsome colleague Kurosawa, and Adachi discovers that Kurosawa has a crush on him. This manga is honestly the cutest thing you'll ever read if you decide to pick it up. Please pick it up. Please tell me that you pick it up and comment down below your love for this series. Maybe you can even read it with me. I'd love that. I need everyone to read this manga now. It's honestly making me so happy just thinking about reading the manga. I absolutely love the romance in this manga and I can't wait to reread it, especially because Kurosawa has had a crush on Adachi for 7 years. What is especially heartwarming is the fact that Kurosawa is like got everything. He's the entire package. He's got the looks, he's a really good worker, but sometimes his superiors take advantage of him and use him only for his looks and not for his brains, and Kurosawa does go along with it. I mean, obviously he doesn't want to lose his job, but it does hurt him, and you can imagine like it would take a toll on your mental health. But then this one instance 7 years ago, Adachi helps Kurosawa, and that she makes Kurosawa feel like seen and understood, and that's what sparked his love. But Kurosawa doesn't act on it because he doesn't want to impose his feelings on Adachi, but he's happy to love Adachi from afar and just help him at work and be the best co-worker he can be. And then when Adachi discovers this superpower that he has and he can read Kurosawa's mind, it's then that he realizes just like how deep Kurosawa's love for him goes, and he starts to see the love in Kurosawa's actions. It's so cute. I could honestly gush about the TV series and the manga for ages. I'm really tempted to do a whole video on it because it just means so much to me. Unsurprisingly, I rated both mangas 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait to reread them, and they would be the first 5 out of 5 star reads of 2021 for me. Volume 3 coming out in May is honestly the only thing that I'm currently living for. The 4th book that I want to read in February is called My Accidental Love Is You, also known as Love by Chance. I found out about this book when it was adapted into a 2-series Thai drama. The first series of the Thai drama is available to watch on their official YouTube channel, which I'll link down below if you become interested in the story. The book follows A and Pete. They meet one day when they get into a bicycle accident. A looks after Pete and then they go their separate ways as friendly acquaintances. They meet again when Pete is being bullied and blackmailed for being gay. I'm laughing semi because the bully is called Trump. Just don't trust people who are called Trump. Trump was... I don't know if I can keep a straight face and say this. Trump was Pete's first crush, but then Trump was just leading Pete on so then he could then blackmail him for money because Pete was rich and he wasn't out to his mother or his parents. A intervenes and he helps Pete again, and he also gives him the confidence to come out to his mother to prevent him from being blackmailed further. After this, Pete gets intrigued by A and he tries to coincidentally meet him again around the university campus. They're both intrigued about one another and it goes from there. It's a Thai ebook which has an English translation. The English translation is on Kindle, but it's also available on the Thai ebook app MAME. I do want to say as a general note that like if you get intrigued and you want to buy it and you want to buy the official English translation, it doesn't start off at the start of the book. I bought the official English translation because I wanted to read this book and try and get out my reading slump. I read the first few chapters and I was confused because it doesn't start off with the bicycle accident, and that's such an important part of the story. It's literally why the book is called My Accidental Love Is You, and the English grammar is not that great, so I went and looked to see if there was any fan translations, and I found one on Wattpad. I'll link it down below, but please also consider paying for the official translation. The Wattpad version is a lot better. Not only does it start from the start, but the English grammar in the book is a lot more comprehensible. Another downside to the official English translation is the fact that it ends about 30 chapters into the 1890 chapter book. So regardless, you'll end up having to use the Wattpad version because there are no other editions out of the other parts of the book. I have started reading this book. I am just finding it a bit slow so far, but I do think that is in part because of my reading slump. The last book that I want to read is the Korean book. It's Color Rush by Saesang. If you get interested by the book's premise, then I would highly recommend watching the Korean drama adaptation of this book. It's available on Viki. It's also available on View for free if you have VPN. I'll link both websites down below if you guys get intrigued. I hope that you do and you watch it. There is a trigger warning for attempted suicide though. Color Rush is set in a world very similar to this one. The main difference is that monos and probes exist amongst normal people. Monos are people who see the world in shades of grey, but there's no medical explanation as to why they do. However, when monos meet their probes and look into their face, they experience something called a colour rush, and they can perceive the world in colour for a short period of time. The colour rush does cause the monos to get their senses overwhelmed, but eventually monos acclimatise to the colour rush after they've experienced it a few times. However, in this book, monos are perceived as dangerous because of a select few of them. It's been perpetuated by the media that it's only a matter of time before monos go bad when they meet their probes, because of the horror stories where when a probe stops a mono from experiencing the colour rush, they go to extremes, to kidnapping and murder just to experience the colour rush and seeing colours again. Colour Rush follows Yeonu, who is a high school student who is also a mono. His aunt is really concerned about him being a mono and him meeting his probe. His aunt reinforces the idea that it's only a matter of time before he becomes dangerous when he meets the probe, and his aunt also makes him constantly transfer schools. The beginning of this book starts off when Yeonu is transferring to a new all-boys school. It's there where he meets his probe, Yuhan. When Yeonu experiences the colour rush for the first time, that's when the internal battle within him starts. He wants to see colour, but he doesn't want to get obsessed, and he doesn't want to hurt Yuhan. But he feels like it's only a matter of time, especially because he constantly sees things in the media and the newspapers that monos are bad. Yeonu tries to distance himself from Yuhan, but Yuhan is obsessed with Yeonu. It's a really interesting relationship, especially because there's like a lot of dependency on one another, because Yuhan also has a secret. There's also the mystery around Yeonu's mother. She was also a mono, but she disappeared along with a number of other women who were also monos, and his aunt is trying to get the truth and find out what really happened. I am such a sucker for the soulmates alternative universe trope, where like people have like their one true soulmate. If you have any recommendations of books, TV shows that has it, please do tell me, because honestly, I live for this stuff. I can't wait to be an intermediate to advanced learner of Korean to be able to fully appreciate this book. If you're interested in the book, there is a fan translation online which I'll link down below, but the translator has only just started translating, and it's a 3-book series, so it's going to take a long time. I'll also leave the link of where you can buy the Korean ebook online, but honestly, it was such a hassle for me to get that book. This is going to be like a mini story time now. So I spent about half an hour navigating the website to Yes24 trying to buy this ebook. It took me about half an hour to navigate the Yes24 website, get the book into my basket, and I was really proud of that, but I couldn't get any further because you need to verify your age when you buy this book, which sounds easy in theory, but you need to have either a Korean ID card or an ARC, the alien registration card, so like if you're a foreigner living in Korea on a visa, and I don't have either of those. So I ended up asking my boyfriend for help, and he begrudgingly helped me, which I'm really thankful for. But it still took a lot of work. We were on Zoom screen sharing and trying to buy this ebook. It was a lot of hassle, and then my boyfriend's younger brother ended up helping as well. So it took 3 people to buy this ebook and about 2 hours of time. So it's like I created the account, my boyfriend verified his age, and then I went to go and pay with my card, but it just wouldn't let me because my card is obviously like a foreign bank. It's not a Korean bank account. So then my boyfriend's younger brother had to pay for this ebook. It was such a hassle. And like, I know both of them aren't happy about it because my boyfriend had to verify his age to buy a gay romance book, and then my boyfriend's younger brother paid for the gay romance book. So both of them are very unhappy that like they have on like public record somewhere in Korea that they're interested in reading this gay romance book. So those are the books that I'll be reading in February. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!